Hello and welcome to episode 8 of Williams Warm-Up. We are here back from the madness that was Miami into this sunny Barcelona Circuit de Catalunya. I'm Jeremy Irvine. I consider myself a sort of part-time actor and full-time F1 super nerd, and we're going to be taking you behind the scenes with all things Williams racing. But first up, it's time for episode 2 of Between Two Tyres with Dan, I've been told to say Paget, and Patrick Harding. Over to you guys.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Between Two Tyres.
Indeed, Between Two Tyres.
Because that's what it's called. Welcome to episode 2.
I'm Dan Paget and I'm the performance coach for Nicholas Latifi.
I'm Patrick Harding and I'm the performance coach for Alex Albon.
Back by popular demand.
Race 6. I think we did our first episode, race 1.
Race 1, yeah. When the friendship was just gelling. Now it's. I would argue friendship is still a strong word to use. My mum thinks I'm still in an F1 timeout from the head-to-head challenges in the Gorga and Bend.
I think you need a timeout. Just take a breath, and you just get a little bit of a load. I reckon it was, mate. It's okay. It's not all about winning. It's about taking it back. I think you did need a little bit of time.
She turned around and she was like, Patrick knows you very well, putting you on a timeout.
I would say there was probably some grey areas in how the rules were applied.
Yeah, I would as well.
Not everything is black and white.
No. So, question 1.
Yeah.
If you could spectate one but play the other, NBA or NFL. So you've got to play in one and watch one. So what are you saying?
It's a bit difficult because I have the height for NBA and I have the physicality for NFL. But I've always had a love for NFL.
Yeah.
It's actually a sport I would love to work in at some point. Hit me up, people.
Working.
So I would play NFL.
Sorry, that's what you've been doing since you've been here. Right.
If anybody's watched Friday Night Lights, I'm a bit of a Matt Saracen, you know, a bit of a checkered history, bit of a deep thinker, a bit of an introvert, but put me on the big stage, just born to be there.
I heard you're more water boy when it comes to NFL.
I mean, hydration is key.
SIS?
Everybody, someone's looking for sponsorship.
I'm just looking for
that wasn't even subtle. That was like, pulls out, t-shirt off, SAS. But you should hydrate. Yeah. Hydration is important.
It can affect performance. That's what we're here to monitor.
I think as you proved, everybody can find a place in the team.
Yeah.
So, but
thanks for that. I missed that one there, mate. I got to get up earlier. Clearly I wasn't in the gym.
I would say either quarterback, just that kind of natural leadership style.
Yeah, I see you more as an angry running back.
Really? Well, yeah.
Just get the ball, get on that crash.
Yeah.
Chin under, chin tucked.
Just took it down.
Just get in there. Yeah.
What about you?
Just straight up quarterback, ain't I, mate? Straight up quarterback, mate. Just running all the plays.
I would say, probably
reserve quarterback. I would say is a good job. I mean, how much throwing do you need to do? You know.
I would say you'd be a good punter. Just I would like to, kick. About 40 seconds of work a game.
That's good volume.
Sit on the bench for the rest of it.
I'm still on good money.
Decent paycheck.
Yeah. Cheerleader.
Just have to. You love your mobility.
Yeah.
You'd be able to look after your hips. Good hammy legs.
Mate, I always keep an eye on my hips.
And I would say you are a massive punter in my estimate.
And plus, we get to go and watch a basketball game then, which would be
quite cool. Watch basketball. Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. I think we both agreed on that. Play NFL, watch NBA.
Number 2 is American food, rate it or hate it. I mean, this American food, you can't really hate it. It's pretty good. Just the volume. I mean, we went out for dinner and we ordered starters. The starters came with chips, not French fries. I'm English.
Okay. Wow. Just scratch the surface of something that you probably need to talk about.
Well,
I'm not sure we've got the time. I do agree with you. What is your favourite American food?
It's the burger, isn't it?
Is it just
straight up burger?
Any fanciness around it?
I can't tell the difference, to be honest. I don't think I have an educated
single patty,
palate.
double patty?
Always double, mate.
Oh, okay.
Why? What are you saying? Your little protein wrap, salad bun or something? Like wrap it in onions. Research says it's good.
I would say quinoa burger.
A quinoa
with
burger.
lettuce as the bun.
And that's what quarterbacks eat, is it? Any quarterbacks out there on a quinoa burger?
There's a wings place in New York called City Bar, and I go there every time I go to New York. down near Union Square. Best wings in New York, incredible. I'm a wings guy. You know, it's a bit messy, and I don't generally like messy food, but wings I can get involved with.
I like things to be neat and tidy.
Yeah, generally I do.
Organised and taken
something
care of.
about wings and a cold beer is nice.
Okay, so it's a bit of a strange one. Who would you rather have a dinner date with?
Right.
Good old Francis or Catherine? Catherine Hunn and Francis Burgoyne, our guests from last week, who are both amazing people, by the way.
So I think I'd have to go Francis. Do you think about Francis? Is he going to wear his GoPro when you're
But that ain't looking at you, though. That's
yeah, but it's
down.
Weird.
Catherine was amazing. I really liked her. She was a good guest.
Was she, yeah?
And she's a Marvel superhero, so she, you know, she's pretty cool.
So you're going Catherine Hahn, I'm going Francis. Okay. Yeah, he'd be teaching me about trains and stuff. It'd be good. Everybody needs a bit of Francis energy.
Yeah.
I did think that was probably the happiest I've seen Alex in a long time, was spending time with Francis.
Well, he's having a good time at the moment. What is better?
Yeah.
The Office UK or the Office USA version?
See, this is controversial because...
Do you watch both, first of all? Have you seen the American?
I struggle with cringe humour like that. I get to the point where you know something really cringy is going to happen.
Yeah, I know, it makes you want to bite my... Yeah.
But I have seen some of it. But what you're really asking, Steve Carell or Ricky Gervais, that's what you're really saying.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky, have you seen Ricky's answer to it?
No.
He goes, it's brilliant. It goes, so I think the British Office is better because obviously he's in it. He goes, the acting's better. But then he turns around and goes, but my accountants told me the American one's better. We should invite Ricky to the racing, see if he likes it.
I would have to go American.
You go an American Office, but you like everything less British, don't you?
I like the stuff he's done. 40-Year-Old Virgin is a classic.
40-Year-Old Virgin is good. Mine's been my life. Anyway, I'm Office UK,
Office US. You did miss a question, but Miami Dolphins are Inter Miami.
What, okay, mate? American football or real football?
You and Bex, or you and Ray Finkel?
I think Bex. I think me and Bex hanging around would be a bit better.
So, I think we did a good job there. I think both our reputations came out better than probably after.
Probably not bad. But all performance coaches have a tricky relationship with each other, I feel. It's almost like an ego off every time you meet the other
really?
ones.
Who are we talking about? I mean,
I don't know, but everyone's like smoke and mirrors with their job, like especially you. No, that'll be enough, wouldn't it? We signed it off. I'll sign it off after the question.
Sign it off after making a load of friends with the other coaches in the paddock, Dan. Yeah, that's been an interesting end to our second episode.
No.
Between Two Tyres.
Just said it's been nice getting to know them all. Signing off Between the Tyres. I'm taking mine back to the garage. That's where I'm going. Actually taking the tyre and leaving. It's not a sulk. I'm just off, mate.
See you after, mate.
Well, thanks very much to Dan and Patrick there. I'm sure that was serious, intense and intellectual. Next, I'm going to take you into the garage where we're going to meet all things engineering and aerodynamics and their race strategy and find out what on earth they're doing. Right, here we are actually in the garage, a little bit behind the scenes. As you can see, I've been Alboned. Here we've got Nick de Vries, who's having a seat fit. He's going to do a session in FP1 tomorrow. I was just being told how important the seats themselves are. Each one is actually made uniquely to each driver back in the factory. So quite an important part of the process with the G-forces that they go through. So here's Nicky getting out now. How is it, Nicky? Hot? Looks hot. Makes it look a lot more graceful than when I did it. I actually broke the F1 car when I had a go in it. I managed to got to have a go in one in Germany, and as I was getting out I snapped the carbon fibre hood that goes around, and I didn't even fit in Nicky's race suit. And it's much louder than you think. But this is really what it's all about. The fans have started to arrive. There's not even any racing going on today. We've already got people lining the paddock all the way down as far as you can see. It's fantastic. And that's why we love F1. It's for the atmosphere. It's your day-to-day job here at Williams.
Day-to-day is all the composite stuff, so that's wings, bodywork, driver seats, things like that.
Okay. So I've just seen the drivers getting fitted for new seats now. So are you involved with that back in the factory as well as here?
A little bit. We've got a mock-up car back at the factory.
Yeah.
And there's a guy that does that full-time, so he'll do every driver that we have, whether that's a racing driver, reserve driver, somebody who's got too much money and wants a day out.
Just wants to have a play. I wouldn't mind doing that one day. I mean, how many spare parts do you take to a track? I mean, how many sort of, front ends and things?
General rule is one spare per driver of everything.
Okay, and that's for the whole weekend, is it?
Yeah.
So if you have a little crash in sort of FP1, then that really is.
Yeah, you're in a bad situation for the rest of the weekend, and it's a good job they get on, because they have to steal each other's spares.
Gotcha. All right, and when's Alex Albon going to have a go at your hair?
When I've managed to grow some on the top.
Can I introduce one of my favourite guys in the garage, Tom Scott.
Is that because I always steal your camera?
Hi Tom, sorry. So I'm Jeremy.
Jeremy, nice
taking people behind the scenes in Williams.
Okay.
What's your day-to-day here?
I am what they call a floating mechanic.
Floating mechanic?
Yeah, I basically...
Sounds like something you leave in the loop.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually, I basically work at the front of the car, rear of the car, so...
So you're the all-rounder?
That's pretty much it, yeah.
Gotcha.
Jack of all trades, specialist in none.
How do you get into that? Like, if I wanted to now suddenly go, my one goal in life is to be an F1 all-round mechanic, how did you start?
For me, it was just working weekends for free in lower series, and then eventually made the leap to go self-employed.
Amazing.
And started doing weekdays at different factories and stuff like that.
So where you sort of teach yourself and just learning from people that you're working with?
Yeah, pretty much.
Gotcha.
Learn little tricks of the trade, people you're around, and
Right. How old were you when you started? How old when you got your first into an F1 garage?
7.
Pretty late. I think I was 27 when I got into Formula 1.
Yeah.
I'm now nearly 30 this year, so most people are in their teens.
How old?
29 now, 30 end of this year.
There's hope for me. Yeah, I'm still seriously considering sacking off my job and getting into this. I much prefer it. Yeah. When's Alex Albon getting in?
You'll have to pin me down, I think.
All right. Well, look, we can look forward to that later. Hopefully, we'll be back for the Alex Albon Tommy wrestle. See ya. I've just come to the part of the garage that they've never taken me to before, and they all say they're on these special diets and things, but it just seems to be muffins and sugary drinks. Outrageous. Don't see the other teams doing that, or do you? Right, 10 seconds for a fellow Academy brother. Right. We've both been done. So Brian, what's your job title here at Williams?
I'm the race team coordinator.
Okay.
So I'm responsible for all the logistics, accreditation, garage build, rebuild.
Which race venue is the one you go, that is the most pain in the ass? Is it Monaco? Yeah, weirdly it is, but it's one that I enjoy. Didn't hear a word he said. Not blue.
That's enough things, disco / garage, and now we're going to talk track. And to help me with that is Williams Academy driver Logan Sargeant, who's going to talk me around the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya. Let's go! Alrighty, so here I am with Logan Sargeant, who is one of the Williams Academy drivers. This is a track that obviously the drivers will know like the back of their hands, more so than nearly any other track because it's used for pre-season testing. Now you know it particularly well because you've won here in 2018 in Formula Renault.
I did, and I had a pole here in 2020 in F3.
Okay, just mention that as well, very good. No, so is that an advantage to the drivers, knowing the track so well, or do you also know that all the other drivers also know the track very well?
Well, that's the thing. Obviously everyone knows it extremely well, so the margins are much more fine. However, I feel like it's a favorable track for me. I feel like it suits me really well, and I'm really confident going into the weekend.
And obviously if you've won before, that must make a huge difference, at least knowing that, you do have what it takes to get past the finish line at the end in first.
exactly, when the results have been there in the past, you know, it's a track that you get extremely comfortable with and confident on. You know that the speed's going to be there, it's just about delivering.
I guess to F1 fans like myself, you know, we love watching the Spanish Grand Prix, but it's also a track that is slightly trickier to overtake on. You know, we don't see as many overtakes. Now, turn 1 is your main chance. How do you go about making that move on turn 1?
I think a lot of it is patience. Tire deg is a massive, you know, plays a massive role here. So if the car in front of you starts to struggle, that opens the opportunity into turn 1. It's
not one of the longest circuits. It's about 4.6 kilometers, I believe. You know, you've got a relatively small track, 16 corners, I think about 45 gear changes. How's that for your workload as a driver? How does that compare to the other tracks in terms of the sheer sort of mental load that you're having to deal with?
I think it's more physically demanding. Between the heat and the amount of corners, quite condensed, and a lot of long corners as well. It can be quite fatiguing. And, it can be a long race. Because
turn 3, that's the one which is pretty much flat out in these F1 cars, isn't it? And that's 4G or more for, so, you know, quite a long period of time. How do you as a driver, how do you prepare for the G-forces? How does that work?
A lot of it just comes down to being driver fit and being in the car as much as you can. And you know, that's really the best way you can train. You know, working out in the gym is obviously very good, but if you're not in the car, it doesn't matter.
Well, I was going to say, you all look fairly fit to me. So yeah, I've been watching a few interviews with people talking about their favourite corner. Turn 9 comes up a lot, this sort of blind exit that you get out turn 9, and you sort of have to hope that you're going to hit the apex in the right place. How do you feel with that one?
Turn 9 is definitely a tough one, because you turn it off the curb and you're quite close to the grass. You have to be careful not to drop a wheel as well. No, it's definitely tricky, super high speed, the exit comes at you fast, and the inside wall is not too far away either. So you have to be somewhat careful. But I think my favorite corner on the track is turn 4.
There's one actually which I always spin on in my living room, and it's you come down. There's a sausage curb on the right which you sort of have to touch as you're coming up the hill.
Turn 7.
Turn 7. Turn 7 is the.
It's a tricky one.
Right. So how do I, when I go back and I'm playing with my best mate, how do I deal with turn 7?
The main goal for turn 7 is to have a good minimum and be on power early as it's uphill.
Okay.
So you want to just have good rotation, try to avoid the sausage curb, and then get more of a straight line up the hill.
So now we move on to sort of the latter part of the track. You've got the really tight chicanes at the end, which I guess are these slow corners, which is where you can make and lose the most speed.
You know, the entry dictates how good the exit's going to be as well. But they've just made our job a lot harder as well, because they've taken away the sausage curbs. You know, we need to clarify where the track limits are.
Is that something that gets spoken about in the driver briefing before, and you'll sort of have a clear idea, or are we going to have some more grey areas like last season with, you know?
They brief you best they can, but sometimes it's still a bit vague. And, you just have to play it by ear.
To wrap things up, the team was in Miami at the last race, brand new track, a circuit that had never been raced before. This is the track that has been raced the most. How does that change sort of everyone's preparation?
Going from a track like Miami, which no one knows, it does offer opportunity, but you sort of have to build up to it. Whereas the drivers are going to show up here, they're going to know the track, and they're going to be on it immediately. So as I said, the margins will be extremely fine. You know, one lap in qualifying is what it comes down to. It's a track that's quite easy to make mistakes, so to not make that mistake and deliver on that lap is going to be key.
If you were to see an amazing overtake at any corner on this track this weekend, which corner would you like to see it at?
Around the outside of turn 4.
Outside turn 4, you heard it here first. All right, thank you so much, Logan. Real pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Cheers. Well, thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We will be back next week for the next episode of Williams Warm Up from the one, the only, Monaco, baby.